Oates practicing her singing before.
That was singing.
Miranda Oates says, just because she has to live in a backwater place like Tumbleweed doesn't mean she has to forget about culture.
She calls that caterwauling culture?
To each its own, that's what I always say. Playing cards again all night, huh?
I lost a pretty penny. I don't mind telling you. If I didn't know the mayor so well, I'd say the man cheats.
I'd say he's probably right.
That sofa has more lumps than a camel's back. How's a man expected to sleep on it?
You're not supposed to sleep on it, you're supposed to sit on it.
Very funny. Is there any coffee left?
Fresh pot on the stove, you know where to find it.
Can't you serve me a cup?
I've got enough things to do. The upstairs room has to be aired.
I intend to complain to the mayor about your attitude.
You do that.
A gentleman in Tumbleweed gets no respect.
Lawyer Maxwell sure likes putting on airs.
You ain't alone. Miranda Oates don't like playing cards in the lobby either. She says it ain't fine.
I reckon that be true, but this ain't Philadelphia. It's Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed. To think that Lily Delilah, formerly of Seattle, is stuck in this one-horse town. Ugh.
There's more than one horse in this town.
I hope none of my friends find out where I am. I have a reputation to consider.
Oh, morning, Electra.
Morning, Professor.
Morning, Miss Delilah.
Professor.
Ah, the mail's in. Anything for me?
Ask Elmira Sessions. She's the postmistress.
Elmira Sessions reads other people's mail.
Maybe she wouldn't have to read other people's mail if they built the library like they promised.
This town is full of promises. The mayor promised me I could operate a gambling concession. That was 5 months ago. Each month, he charges me a fee for considering my request. If you ask me, he's running a racket.
Think I'll go into the dining room and have my breakfast. Bacon, eggs, pancakes, and syrup.
I'm sorry, Professor. You can't go in there.
Why not? I'm hungry.
Guest only.
What do I look like, a thief in the night?
In this crummy town, who'd notice?
Mayor says you haven't paid a thing since you've been here. Says you've been eating and sleeping for free. And if you don't pay up, he's going to have you arrested or tossed in jail.
Arrested?
Broke, Professor?
A temporary inconvenience, I assure you.
What about your medicine show? I thought medicine shows were moneymakers.
I had to run a sour luck. My singer ran off with my piano player. If that wasn't bad enough, they took the dancing bear with them. What's a medicine show without a dancing bear?
I'll bite. What's a medicine show without a dancing bear?
Unbearable. Maybe the mayor will let me pay him off with bottled medicine. Those are good for polishing furniture and dissolving rust.
Mayor Oates likes money.
So do I.
Me too.
How broke are you, Professor?
Let me put it this way. If a trip to the Mexican border costs 10 cents, I wouldn't have enough to make it to the sidewalk.
That's broke.
I wrote my big brother in San Francisco and asked him for a loan. He's bound to help me.
When'd you scribble him?
Last week?
His answer won't be in this mailbag. Takes a couple of months, maybe, to get an answer from San Francisco.
Months?
Why don't you sell your medicine wagon?
Who'd buy it?
Gary Cavender might.
The Undertaker?
He's always complaining about his hair's falling apart.
The folks don't want to see the dearly departed riding in a medicine show wagon. All that red and gold paint and bitches on a dancing bear shaking a tambourine. It wouldn't be decent.
I am hungry.
Mayor says beans until you pay up.
Beans. For breakfast.
Lunch and dinner too. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Beans.
There's no need to shout, Gert.
I figured I gotta shout. Otherwise, I won't get hurt.
Good morning, Professor Burns.
Howdy, Miss Julie.
Miss Delilah.
If you see your father before I do, tell him I'd like a word.
Happy to.
Here's the mailbag.
Why don't you leave it with Elmira Sessions?
Because the post office is locked tighter than a buffalo's strut. And I can't drop it off on the porch on account of it's against regulations.
Just a lovely song at twilight, when the lights are flickering low.
Beans!
choosers.
I don't understand.
Concern yourself with a charity case, Julie.
Hey!
Charity case.
The professor's broke.
I'm expecting funds from my big brother any day now.
Any day now. I won't be coming to Tumbleweed for at least another 4 weeks.
Okay, I'm expecting funds from my big brother any week now.
Oh, I see.
Well, I better get going. I got a passenger. I reckon she's wondering where I am. If you see Elmira Sessions, tell her I left the mailbag here.
Here. This isn't the post office.
The post office was locked, but I'll take the mail over and wait for Elmira. I don't mind.
Julie,
Yes, Mother?
if you see that dreadful young prospector on the street, I forbid you to speak with him.
You mean Luther?
You know perfectly well who I mean. Luther. Yes, worthless rogue. I will not have a penniless drifter casting soulful glances in my daughter's direction. I can tell he has eyes for you.
Well, Luther's a nice young man.
Don't contradict your own mother. In good society, it's considered impolite.
Well, I haven't seen Luther in days.
If only I could believe that. Being a mother and a concert artist is not easy.
Luther may have eyes for Miss Julie, but Miss Julie also has eyes for Luther, you know.
Don't be insolent, Electra. Don't you have rooms to air?
Yep.
Well, in that case, air them.
I'll do it. You done with them beans, Professor?
Not yet.
That, I can assure you, is the last meal you will eat in this hotel.
Meal! You call this a meal? No salad, no beverage, no roll. This meal isn't fit for a condemned prisoner.
Funny you should mention the word prisoner. My husband, the mayor, intends to have you arrested for non-payment of bills. We're not running a soup kitchen here, Professor Burns, and my husband and I will have no truck with deadbeats. Pay up or face the music. Music.
Did she call me a deadbeat?
She called you a deadbeat.
The mayor is married to a dragon, a fire-breathing dragon.
Who sings? They're the worst kind.
They have no right to treat an honest man so shabbily.
Looks like we're in the same buckboard, Professor.
How's that, Miss Delilah?
Call me Lily.
I don't suppose you'd consider lending me a small loan, Lily? Not much. Even a few silver dollars would help.
I'm as broke as you are.
What? You too? But what about them jewels you're wearing?
Haste. I could make a bundle with the cards and the dice, but the mayor says I ought to have a license. He keeps promising the license, but it never appears. He's managed to get a lot of money out of me with his worthless promises. This is a weird town. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something's amiss.
Gosh, Lily, if you think Tumbleweed is weird, why'd you come here? I mean, I didn't have a choice. My medicine wagon broke down at the town line.
Everywhere I went, I heard about this new boom town called Tumbleweed. I figured I'd get in on the ground floor. Instead, I'm stuck in the sand.
It seemed like such a good idea to move here and start my career, but all that I gained here instead, it started to make me upset. I thought it would be so nice running
sheriff.
What's all this about, Mayor?
You'll soon find out. Miranda!
It's Mayor Oaks and the sheriff.
I better make myself scarce.
Danger! We're all in great danger!
I wish you'd stop saying that and tell me what the trouble be.
Morning, Mayor Oaks.
Trouble? You don't know the meaning of the word trouble.
What is in that letter?
Morning, Sheriff Plunkett.
Letter? Letter? You call this a letter?
Yeah, I'd call it a letter. What would you call it?
Disaster! Ruin! Calamity!
Nice weather we're having.
Miranda!
I ain't never seen you like this, Mayor.
You won't be so calm when you hear the news. Miranda!
What news?
What is going on out here? I don't allow loud conversation in the lobby. It's unseemly.
Your husband is acting like a cuckoo clock.
Cuckoo clock.
Cuckoo clock my foot.
Oh, calm down, husband. You're making a spectacle of yourself.
Never mind about that. We've got more important things to worry about. Disaster, ruin, calamity.
I'll get the bicarbonate of soda. It always eases your nervous stomach.
Make it a double. I'm not a well man. What have I done to deserve this?
You ain't gonna explain it's ailing you. I might as well get back to the jail. It is time for me to feed my chickens.
You shouldn't raise chickens in the jail. I've cautioned you about that before. It doesn't look right. Oh.
It's impossible to sleep in this place. I finally managed to doze off at the kitchen table, but my snooze didn't last long. Why all the shouting?
Yes, you live in a calamity.
Bad trouble is knocking at the door.
I don't hear anything.
Miranda, better hurry that bicarbonate of soda.
The others will be here any moment, cousin.
I'll never forgive you for this, Elmira. This is all your fault. Even incompetence has its limits.
Please, cousin, I didn't misplace those letters on purpose. I'm an innocent victim of circumstance.
You've always run the post office in slipshod fashion. This only proves it.
Tisk, tisk.
Tisk, tisk yourself.
What's all the excitement? Elmira said to drop everything, come pronto.
Nothing serious, I hope.
I was walking so fast, people thought I was running. I dismissed the class.
Quiet! How can a man think with everyone jabbering?
Here's your bicarbonate of soda. Drink every drop and you'll feel much better.
Stop gawking at me, woman. Sit down, sit down. Might as well make yourself comfortable while you can.
So I reckon the letter came in on the stage.
Where were you, Elmira? Gert Dooley said the post office was closed.
She was looking for me with this.
It wasn't my fault. I discovered several letters on the floor behind the filing cabinet. They must have dropped there when I wasn't looking.
So what?
2 months old at least.
2 months? That's a long time to lost behind the file cabinet.
I repeat, so what?
Well, for one thing, it took me almost an hour to read the letters.
Elmira, I don't think it's proper to be reading other people's mail.
But I like to read. You can learn a lot by reading other people's mail. A person has to do something to amuse herself in this town. It's not exactly Paris, is it?
Nope. But the climate is good for raising chickens.
I think the cat must have knocked the letters behind the filing cabinet.
Shut up, Elmira.
Husband!
Cousin!
Mayor!
There's no time for chit-chat.
Well, there's always time for chit-chat.
Not with this letter in my hand.
Now, what's so important about that letter?
It's from Boston.
Boston.
Yes, Boston. Let me refresh your memories. 7 years ago, I was hired by John Prescott of Boston, Massachusetts, to establish a town here in the Arizona desert.
A town that could one day be the territorial capital.
I was to hire the best people available.
And you did.
I didn't hire the best people available. I hired my shirt-tail relatives. I hired you.
Well, you've always been a generous man, Obadiah.
Now I'm paying for it.
You don't mean that, cousin.
Do too. I'm about to lose my dream. One man might consider himself the bull of Wall Street, but I consider myself the bull of Tumbleweed.
Bully for you.
Bully, bully.
On every stage, there's been money sent by John Prescott to help develop this town. By this time, he expects a thriving community here.
Hospital, school, jailhouse.
Civilization, the perfect town for the territorial capital. He doesn't know that most of the money has been squandered on your salaries and upkeep and incompetence.
Our salaries aren't all that much after you take a kickback.
At least I've kept it in the family.
Sean Prescott will never come to Tumbleweed. The man is over 100 years old.
The trip from Boston would kill him.
No such luck.
Husband, that is no way to speak of our benefactor.
This letter was written to me by cousin Horace.
Oh, how nice. How is dear cousin Horace?
Never mind about that. Listen. Dear cousin Obadiah. Ugh, I hate that name.
The letter. Get on with it.
I want to let you know that John Prescott is sending an inspector your way.
Inspector!
He has instructions to investigate the progress at Tumbleweed.
What progress?
Oh.
John Prescott wants to make sure his money is being well spent.
Oh.
As you know, he considers having Tumbleweed, the territorial capital, a sound business investment.
Oh.
What are we gonna do, Obi?
I feel faint. Faint at home, not here. Oh.
I must warn you that the inspector will try to pass himself off as an ordinary traveler. I suggest you take every precaution. I believe the inspector is actually an operative from the Pinkerton Detective Agency.
Oh.
The Pinkerton.
Detective?
Agency.
Pinkerton agents are bloodhounds. Once they sink their teeth in, they never let go.
This is the scary part. He should be there any day now, unless he's already in Tumbleweed incognito.
In what?
Cognito?
Sounds vulgar to me.
It means the Pinkerton agent will come to Tumbleweed in disguise. We won't know who he is.
What will happen when John Prescott gets the agent's report?
We might all end up behind bars.
Oh. We must make the town look as good as we can. Doc, who have you got in the hospital?
No patients, just some drifters and desert bums. I ripped them a flop for 2 bits.
What will happen when the agent discovers the local medical establishment is run by a horse doctor who was kicked out of Texas for incompetence?
I resent that. I was never kicked out of Texas for incompetence. That was Arkansas.
Please put clean sheets on the hospital beds and sweep the floor. Last time I was in there, the place disgusted me. Ugh, it was like a kennel with all those yapping dogs running around.
I love those.
And you, get rid of the chickens. Rent some prisoners.
Where will I find them? Use some of the tramps who have been sleeping at the hospital. They do not care where they go.
Good idea, Doc. Thanks.
Harry, prove you're a town planning engineer. Get some blueprints and scatter them over your desk.
I know how to look busy.
What about the school? There's no roof, and the pupils only show up when they feel like it. There's no roof because you use the money for yourself, and the pupils only show up when they feel like it because they know you're practically illiterate. You only say that because your daughters are dumbbells. How dare you? Well, can you disagree? Well, look who's talking.
You can't insult my girls.
Let's keep our eyes on the main road. Fortunately, I've been writing up a proposal pointing out to one and all why Tumbleweed would make the ideal territorial capital. Since I don't have anything else to do, it helps pass the time.
Excellent. That will impress the snoop.
Unless he finds out Lawyer Maxwell was disbarred from practice.
We must see that he doesn't find out.
I don't believe a convicted felon can legally hold the position of postmistress.
I presume you're referring to that misunderstanding with the forged check back in Ohio.
Precisely.
I admit, I did a terrible thing. I was young and foolish and needed money. Unless someone tells him, the Pinkerton agent needs never know.
We must make a good impression on the fellow. The report he sends back to Boston must say that everything in Tumbleweed is progressing nicely. Ha!
Alas, that won't be easy.
Would you like to find yourself out of a job?
There's always work for an undertaker.
Husband, if that letter is 2 months old,
It is.
then the Pinkerton man must already be here. The letter said he'd be here any day now, and if he isn't already here, and that was 2 months ago.
She's right. Any strangers in town?
The drifters don't stay long. In and out.
I haven't buried anyone since April.
Wait, I know who it is.
Who?
Who's been hanging around town for the past few Naturally, a perfect cover. You wouldn't expect the Pinkerton man to show up as himself.
Clever young man.
Good heavens. I was gonna have him arrested. I was gonna kick him out of the hotel.
I was mean to him. He only had beans for breakfast.
His report to Boston will be vicious.
Everyone, family, we must pull together, clean up the town, sweep, dust, polish.
That won't be enough.
It's a start.
Put on a happy face. Everybody smile.
Well, I wonder where the professor can be.
He must be found. If you're looking for Professor Burns, he might be found at the town hall.
What town hall?
There is no town hall. Just a hole in the ground that was dug 2 years ago.
Why are we standing around flat jawing? There's work to be done.
Sink or swim.
Win or lose.
Up or down?
Victory or defeat?
We hang together or we hang separately.
What's it to be?
Separately!
Separately?
We mean together.
One for all.
All for one.
We've got a situation that requires our attention. If we found consequences
inconvenience.
Hey, Miranda! Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling, how about some service?
This, I assume, is the lobby?
That it is, Mrs. Baywater, that it is.
It's not the Palace Hotel in Baltimore, but I suppose I can endure one night here.
Tumbleweed ain't so bad. Of course, I realize you're used to the big city and such.
What a pity my train could have taken me all the way to my destination.
You're in the Wild West now. A person has to make do with what's what.
I suppose.
Where is everybody? Hey!
Must you make so much noise?
Got to be heard, don't I?
I abhor raucous behavior.
So do I. What's that mean, ruckus?
Ding-a-ling! Ding-a-ling! No doubt Tumbleweed would be populated by rustics.
Nope, most folks here is American.
You're still in town, Gert?
Naturally, I'm still in town.
So dry and dusty. I've been inhaling the dirt of the road for almost a day and a half.
That'd be my lone passenger over there, Mrs. Baywater. She's visiting her married daughter from Fort Drywell.
My daughter is married to Major Diamondfoot. One day, he'll be a general, maybe even president.
She had to leave the train at Tucson.
Here in the Wild West, things seem to start and stop, start and stop. A touch of civilization and then tumbleweed.
I reckon
You still in town, Gert?
this ain't me, somebody else.
Strangest thing. I just saw a mob of people headed towards a giant hole in the ground.
You mean where the town hall's supposed to be?
Yes.
Maybe someone fell in, didn't have nothing better to do. Anyway, here's the strong box from Boston. I always ride with it under my seat. Forgot to bring it in with the mailbag.
Daddy will be so pleased. Nothing like a strong box from Boston to make him smile.
That'd be my little passenger over there, Mrs. Baywater.
She's riding for Fort Drywell.
A long journey.
I'm visiting my daughter.
Her daughter's getting married to Major Diamondback.
His name is Diamondfoot.
He could be president one day.
She's gonna need a room for the night, Julie. On account of my rig's little wheel, and I ain't got no spare. Blacksmith says he'll have it repaired by the morning. I'll get me a fop at the hospital. It's cheaper than staying here.
The hospital?
I'm sure we can make you comfortable, Miss Baywater. I'm Julie Oates. My parents run this hotel.
Julie's father's the mayor.
The mayor? How delightful. I always get along well with elected politicians. I shall enjoy meeting your pater, Julie.
Pater? You don't mean pater, Mrs. Baywater. You mean Papa.
Well, I'll mosey on over to the blacksmith and see how he's getting along. I don't want to fix that wheel with spit and glue.
We'll take good care of Miss Baywater.
Are you still in town, Bert?
If you'll be kind enough to sign the register, Miss Baywater.
Certainly.
We've got plenty of free ink. Use all you want.
I opened all the windows in the upstairs bedroom. Don't be afraid to breathe deep.
I should like a bath.
Sure thing, creek's out back. I'll get you a big towel.
Creek? Big towel. You expect me to bathe in an outdoor creek?
I'm afraid we don't have an indoor creek.
How barbaric! Tumbleweed is the last stop to nowhere.
The next home ain't nowhere, Mrs. Baywater. It's Dead Man's Gulch.
How distasteful. Dead Man's Gulch.
You're from Baltimore. Mother will be so pleased. We've never had anyone from Baltimore staying here before.
That is not surprising. I should like to be shown to my room.
Electra, give her the room with the rug.
Follow me, lady.
My luggage is on the stagecoach.
I'll see to it.
Thank you, Julie. You are a charming young lady. How unfortunate you're hidden away in Tumbleweed. I'm sure you'll make some young man a happy husband.
I will, if his name is Luther.
Luther? Who's Luther?
Miss Julie.
That's Luther.
In that case, I'll leave you two alone.
He reminds me of someone.
Who am I thinking
Julie.
Luther, you shouldn't be here.
Miss Julie.
If Father sees you, there could be a scene.
Forgive me, Miss Julie. I couldn't stay away another moment. I was out there in the desert digging for gold for the last 5 days. Every time I turned over a shovelful of sand, I saw your face. It's the only thing that kept me going.
Oh, Luther.
Give thirsty man a kiss, Miss Julie.
I couldn't. Someone might see us.
What do I care? I want the whole world to know that I love Miss Julie Oates of Tumbleweed, Arizona. I want the whole world to know that one day I plan to make her my bride.
What if Mother saw you come in?
What if she did? I'm not afraid of your mother. Not too much anyways. I'm a stone's throw from the mill, and I'm a good walk to the river. When my working day is over, we'll go swim our cares away. Put your toes down in the water, and a smile across your face, and tell me that you love me, lovely Lady May. Now I ain't the sharpest chisel that your hands have ever held, but darling, I could love you well till the roll is called on high. I've seen my share of trouble, and I've held my weight in shame, but I'm baptized in your name. Lovely Lady May. I'm your Lady May. Lord, the winds can leave you shivering as it bounces o'er the leaves. It's been rushing through my tears till your love brought on the spring. Now the mountains are all blushing, and they don't know what to say. Some to go along when of praises on your lovely Lady May. Now I ain't the sharpest history that your eyes have ever felt, but I'm a hickory just as well. I'm a hickory all the same. I came crashing through the forest as you cut my roots away, and I fell a good long ways for my lovely Lady May. I'm your Lady May. Lovely Lady May. I'm your Lady May. Lovely Lady May. I'm begging for the kiss, Miss Julie.
Well, I've always been kind to beggars. Very well. One kiss, but make it brief.
Thank you, Miss Julie. That kiss will inspire me in my quest for the desert gold.
Look, Antoinette, marigold.
Lovebirds! We've been discovered.
Why don't you knock before you come into a room?
Why should we knock?
This is the lobby of the hotel.
It's a public building. Besides, we know you're sweet on Miss Julie.
And we know Miss Julie's sweet on you.
It's so romantic.
I've seen you girls before.
The Dobbs sisters.
Oh, Tilly.
Antoinette. Marigold. Their father's the town planner.
Oh, I know him.
Daddy says he's gonna make Tumbleweed the finest town there is.
He's been saying that for years.
Daddy says good things take time. Daddy says we have to be patient.
Daddy says patience is its own reward.
If patience is its own reward, Tumbleweed is rich. I've never seen a town that took so long to get built.
Why aren't you girls in school?
There's no roof on the schoolhouse.
It's an open concept.
There hasn't been a roof on the schoolhouse for years because Crabtree still conducts classes.
Reading, writing, and arithmetics.
Yes, but there are storm clouds in the sky, and it looks like it's going to rain.
Besides, who wants to sit in a stupid school and get all wet? Anyways, we're supposed to be Mommy and Daddy.
We're gonna have lunch in the hotel dining room.
I'm gonna have 2 pieces of peach pie because next week is my birthday.
And I'm gonna have a chocolate sundae because next month is her birthday.
Why don't you go and pick out a nice table?
Yes, let's go. I'm hungry.
You just want to get rid of us.
Why would they want to get rid of us? They want to make moo cow eyes at each other. What moo cow eyes?
Luther, this is bad.
What?
The Dobbs sisters are terrible little gossips. They'll tell the whole town that you kissed my hand.
That's nothing to be ashamed of, Miss Julie. My love for you is unblemished.
Mother says you're a rogue.
A rogue.
A worthless rogue.
Your mother sure showers compliments.
Mother says you're a drifter.
A drifter?
A penniless drifter.
But one day, I'll strike it rich.
Luther,
Yes, Miss Julie?
may I ask you a question?
Anytime.
What's a rogue?
Morning, Julie.
Morning, Litter Haskins. I reckon you know Luther?
Oh, prospectors and desert rats look alike to me. He's younger and better looking than most. I'll give him that. Julie, the other day when your mother was in my general store, she,
Did she borrow something again, Litter Haskins?
well, as a matter of fact, she did. She borrowed a hat with an ostrich feather, an embroidered traveling cloak, a pair of shoes with silver buckles, gloves, and a time brooch, a string of imitation pearls, a dozen hand towels, and a corset with whalebone strays.
That's a lot to borrow.
Your father borrowed a pair of shoe spats, 2 neckties, and some trousers, 2 pairs of Italian socks, 1 pair black, 1 pair brown, also a pair of Wellington boots, a box of cigars, and a walking stick.
That's not borrowing, that's bill-aging.
You said it. I didn't. Julie, dear, please tell your parents that they're finished with those items. I'd like them back. I'd like to sell things when they look new and unused.
Well, I'm sure they just meant to return those items. It must have slipped their minds.
Yes, I'm sure that's what happened. Until next time.
Miss Baywater don't think too much of her room. I showed her the blue wallpaper, but I guess she's used to more fancier surroundings.
A visitor from Baltimore came in on the stage.
All the way from Baltimore? Imagine.
Better get ready for lunch. We've already got visitors.
This early? Who? Oh. It's Antoinette, Attilly, and Marigold Dobbs.
Why aren't they in school? Not that they were much Miss Crabtree. The other day, I asked her where the Declaration of Independence was signed. She said, on the bottom.
Well, as you know, there's no roof on the schoolhouse, and it looks like rain.
Rain? That reminds me. Miss Baywater wants fresh water. She says the water in her room pitcher looks old.
What a donation.
Looks like half the town's in the street.
mother, Julie?
Together? In the streets? That's unusual.
I think your father's wearing the suit he borrowed last month. I see the sheriff, the doctor, and even Miss Crabtree. My, some excitement.
Well, let's see what's going on the rockers.
Let's.
I think they made this cheap suit out of lint. It sheds. Not only that, I lose some of it every time I sneeze.
Come on, Miss Julie, we'll miss the hoopla.
Excitement is rare in Tumbleweed.
Psst, Professor,
You addressing me, Lily?
we have to talk. Park it.
Okay. I'm listening.
Listen good. It's just like I figured. Everyone who works for this town is a crook.
Crook?
The mayor, the doc, the undertaker, the postmistress, the whole lot.
You got any proof?
I overheard them admit it. The mayor called a meeting because some Pinkerton agent is investigating Tumbleweed. They think you're him.
Who?
I just told you, some Pinkerton agent. Here's what you've got to do. Go along with the gang. Since they think you're the Pinkerton agent, they can be played for suckers. They deserve it. I've been treated badly, and so have you.
That's true. I've got my pride.
Seems some old guy back in Boston, by the name of John Prescott, had been feeding Mayor Oates money to build up Tumbleweed. The mayor's been stuffing the dough in his own pocket, but it doesn't pay out to his relatives, that is.
Relatives?
They're all related. The whole pack. Kissing cousins.
Well, what do you know?
Work it right, and we both will have enough money to get out of this sand-trapped town.
I wonder if I can carry it off.
If you can sell that smelly snake oil you've got in bottles, you can sell anything.
You're right, Lily. I'd still be working if my singer hadn't ran off with my piano player and dancing bear.
Will you forget about the dancing bear? If you play your cards right, I'll go back to Seattle in style, and you'll have enough to buy the whole circus.
We have been treated unjustly.
Let's even the score. Look at it this way, Professor. If you don't play along, what's the alternative?
Beans in jail.
You won't like jail.
I don't like beans either. I'll do it.
Jackpot. All you have to do is string them along. They'll do the rest. They're a bunch of chicken heads.
The mayor was gonna chuck me out of the hotel for a few measly dollars. Not only that, he took your money and didn't give you anything in return.
I told you, he's a crook. They're all crooks. Here,
Pencil and paper? What's this for?
write something. That'll make them nervous. The more nervous we make them, the better for us.
Yeah,
We're in this together, Professor.
it's a deal.
I'm sure it's the professor. It looked just like him.
They're coming back. Start writing.
Leave it to me.
Let me do the talking.
Dear Mr. Prescott, I wish I could write a good report regarding the situation here in Tumbleweed. The truth is...
My dear fellow, my dear friend.
You mean me?
Why didn't you tell us who you were? We have nothing to hide. We're all honest people.
Honest.
Honest as the day is long.
Longer, even.
You'll have to excuse me, Mayor Oates. I want to finish this letter. I want it to go up on the stage, first thing in the morning.
I knew who you were the whole time. I did. Didn't I, Julie? Julie, I've forbidden you to have anything to do with that drifter.
It's a free country.
My dog deserves better than you.
Oh, forget about Luther, Miranda. We got bigger fish to fry.
You knew who I was, huh?
Of course I did. I was only teasing when I told you my husband was going to have you arrested.
My wife was making a joke. Nothing but a joke. A harmless joke. That's all it was, guys. A harmless joke.
I don't like only beans for breakfast.
Another little joke. Only beans for breakfast. Don't you think that's funny?
Perhaps Professor Burns doesn't have a sense of humor.
No one was addressing you, Mr. Lilac! Ignore her, Professor. As you know, she's a gambling woman from Seattle. I don't approve of gambling. Have nothing to do with her.
Just who do you think I am?
A Pinkerton man. I can always tell a Pinkerton man when I see him.
Not only that, I read a letter that said you were coming. Now you got the cat out of the bag.
I guess it doesn't matter you know who I am. I've been sent here by John...
Prescott.
That's right, Prescott.
I'm told he's a lovely man. Kind, thoughtful, and considerate.
need for secrecy.
That's the way Pinkerton men work.
I hope you won't judge me too harshly, Professor. You've probably noticed that the hospital was filled with derelicts. I can explain that.
Them chickens in the jail don't belong to me.
About the missing roof on the schoolhouse,
There's a good reason why the town hall has not been built.
Everybody, please. You'll only confuse Professor Burns. Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got a feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get downstairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Well, you started out with nothing, and you're probably hurt something bad. And your friends, they all cry, swear you hold them back and say, please, please.
I'm trying to make some sense of it all.
I can see that it makes no sense at all. Is it cool to go to sleep on the floor?
I don't think that I can take anymore. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Well, I started out with nothing, and I'm glad that I was something now. And my friends, they all call me, slap me on the back and say, please. Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got a feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Oh, I'm stuck in the middle with you.
I'm stuck in the middle.
Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you. Oh, I'm stuck in the middle with you. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
we want you to take back a good impression of us.
We might be removed from society, but we're not uncultured baboons.
Let me be frank with you. The reason I have no money is because the people I hired to work with me in the medicine show turned out to be thieves.
Thieves?
They stole everything I had, including Wallace.
Wallace?
The dancing bear. You see, John Prescott has interests in several towns in the territory. I needed a good cover for traveling from one town to another.
Say no more. As a lawman, I understand the need for traveling incognito.
I couldn't pay my hotel bill even if I wanted to.
Pshaw, what's money?
A bit of paper, a piece of silver.
William Shakespeare said it best. He who steals trash steals my name, but he who steals my name gets trashed? Or something like that. I think I read that in a letter.
Money is everything when you don't have any. For example, how am I to pay for my board and room?
Don't give it another thought. You're our guest. Oh, we wouldn't think of charging you a penny.
Tumbleweed is noted for its hospitality.
Since when?
Friendliest town in the Wild West.
Money? You need money? Ah, compared to friendship, money is nothing. Here,
I could.
I insist.
I'll consider it a small loan.
Any friend of John Prescott's is a friend of ours.
Give Professor Burns a better room. How about the one with the blue wallpaper and the rug?
It's took.
Well, one room is much too small for such a distinguished guest. You must have our lovely apartment, Professor Burns. All yours. I copied the sitting room from a picture in Harper's Weekly. You'll notice there's no spittoon.
I don't want to put you out.
No problem, Professor. Like they say in Spanish, mi casa es su casa.
What's that mean?
My house is your house.
Make yourself at home.
We'll use some upstairs rooms. Oh, you must take the apartment, Professor Burns. We insist.
Since you put it that way,
Electra, we'll have lemonade and claret and chocolate cake. I'll entertain by singing a ballad. Let's see, what shall I sing? Oh, I know. I'll sing Memories That Gold Cannot Buy.
Is that a romantic or a pathetic?
Ignore the girl, Professor. She has no couth. Everybody, you're all invited. A little welcoming party for our good friend and distinguished guest from Boston.
Professor Tom Burns, Pinkerton man.
I really ought to finish this report.
Nonsense, good sir. Plenty of time for that.
It's time we formally welcome you to Tumbleweed.
Adios, Incognito. Always a pleasure to meet a Pinkerton man.
My law office is at your disposal.
Welcome, Tumbleweed, Professor.
How nice that you're here.
If you ever need my services, there'll be no charge.
Anything I can do to help, just ask.
Perhaps you could speak to my pupils. How about some free stamps?
We do anything for you, Professor. We do anything for you. We buy you
with a song. Absence only makes the heart grow fonder, and that is why I long for you. Lonely through the nights I ponder, wondering, darling, if you are true. Distance only lends enchantment, though the ocean waves divine. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, longing to be near your side. Oh, if I hadn't married Mayor Oaks, I'd be a famous concert artist. Maybe even a famous opera star, surrounded by adoring fans, idolized by the critics.
What makes you think so?
Well, you heard me sing.
That's why I asked.
Isn't this exciting? Isn't what exciting, Victoria? Haven't you heard? Heard what? About the professor. As soon as Professor Burns leaves Tumbleweed, the better it will be for all of us.
Not unless he leaves with a good report.
Well, the mayor is giving him a personally guided tour of the town.
What there is of it.
That's not what I'm talking
Well,
about.
then what are you talking about?
The professor isn't a professor at all.
That's hardly news,
The
Victoria.
professor's title is part of his incognito.
You heard the sheriff. That's how Pinkerton agents work.
He's not a Pinkerton agent.
Nonsense.
Not a Pinkerton agent.
No.
You don't mean he actually is a medicine show huckster?
No. He's been sent from Boston to investigate Tumbleweed, all right, but he's not a Pinkerton agent.
Not a Pinkerton agent, and not a medicine show hookster.
Then who is he?
You're gonna love this. He's John Prescott's nephew.
Nephew?
Why, I thought that would surprise you. He's heir to a huge fortune, and he's a bachelor. It's a lucky lady who lands him. Indeed.
I've noticed him looking at my Julie more than once.
How do you know it's true? Because he told my husband. Harry's told everybody else. By now the whole town knows.
My daughter, Mrs. Thomas Burns of Boston, Massachusetts. He has a nice ring to it.
Julie might have something to say about that.
Julie's too young to know her own mind.
Mother knows best. Ottilie, Antoinette, Marigold.
Here we are, Mama, walking behind you.
Can't you girls walk any faster? Never mind that. Hurry home and put ribbons in your hair.
Why? Ottilie's birthday isn't until next month. What's the occasion?
I'm not talking about Ottilie's birthday. I want you girls to look your best for Professor Burns.
Professor Burns?
Who cares about him?
Even if he is a Pinkerton agent.
He's not a Pinkerton agent. He's a rich young gentleman of quality and refinement.
He is?
Since when? Get rid of those lollipops, don't giggle when you see him, and use some squirts of perfume. Be generous.
Perfume?
You've never let us use perfume before.
You said we couldn't use perfume until we're older.
You're old enough. Run along.
Oh, boy, perfume!
Don't forget the ribbons and don't drop the bottle.
The very idea.
What?
You know what?
You're trying to fluff up those fronts in hopes Professor Burns will take notice. You're trying to marry one of them off.
As a mother, I want my daughters to marry well.
By well, you mean the nephew of John Prescott? For shame, those girls are still children.
Even if they have been in the 8th grade for 4 years now.
They're older than they look. Besides, my mother married, she was only their age.
And look at the result.
How old was Juliet when she planned to marry Romeo?
Romeo who?
You know Shakespeare?
Ah, yes, Romeo Shakespeare. I'd forgotten for a moment.
You're a terrible school teacher, Opal Crabtree.
I do the best I can, considering there's no roof on the schoolhouse.
And whose fault is that? I better be going. The girls are rather clumsy when it comes to fashion.
You can dress up a monkey, but it's still a monkey. That is a surprise. The nephew of John Prescott.
I hope your husband can convince him all's well in Tumbleweed. He's bound to notice that not much has been built.
Oh, who cares
things like that. No, he'll make the ideal husband for Julie.
He sure had us fooled.
He'll take Julie back to Boston. My husband and I will visit them often. Oh, culture, culture!
If I were you, I wouldn't put the cart before the horse. Wouldn't hatch my chickens until I counted them. Wouldn't build the bridge until I came to it.
Never mind her. So much to do. Romance, romance! Romance always needs a push. Ah, Mrs. Baywater, out for a stroll, seeing the town.
There's not much to see, is there?
Oh, well, come back in a year or two and you'll see a big change in Tumbleweed.
Any change would be an improvement.
I'm urging my husband and the town engineer to build an opera house. I consider myself the town's leading social force. See, you know, I have quite the voice, but I'm sure you've heard all the great voices living in Baltimore.
Some.
How I envy you.
I've been looking everywhere for the stagecoach driver.
Well, have you tried the hospital?
Couldn't get near the front door. Barking dogs everywhere. I'm afraid of fleas.
Don't worry, Gert will turn up.
Did someone mention my name?
Here's your passenger.
It's almost noon.
Yep, I reckon it is.
You said we'd leave first thing this morning.
Can't leave till the blacksmith says the wheel's fixed.
And when will that be?
I think about 4 this afternoon.
What? I have to wait 4 more hours in this Baywater? I mean backwater?
It's either that or walking before drive-up. And I wouldn't advise it if the scorpions don't get you, the rat snakes will.
How awful.
Don't you fret, Mrs. Baywater. Come back to the hotel. We'll have tea. Oh, I'd love to hear news from Baltimore.
So would I.
I've seen so many mixed the horse.
She may have had a voice once, but she has lost it somewhere along the way.
Yeah, I have to admire Miranda. She don't yell so good, but hey, at least she's persistent. Stage leaves a boy.
Why did my daughter have to marry a soldier living out in the Wild West?
All right, Luther, I'll speak to my mother, but I fear she won't give her consent. The road of love is bumpy.
I'll speak to your father.
Do you think that's a good idea? He has so much on his mind right now.
You mean that Pinkerton man from Boston?
Haven't you heard? He's not a Pinkerton man at all. He's John Prescott's nephew.
You don't say.
Living here all this time and never letting it on? Now that's incognito.
They're waiting to speak to the professor.
Who's waiting?
Your relatives, they're in the dining room.
I'm sure you'll agree these things take time. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Well put. It's your father. Now as good time as any. I'll take the bull of Tumbleweed by the horns.
I'm so worried.
You trottle on, sweetheart. I'll deal with him man to man.
You mean desert rat to mayor?
There is no shame in being an honest desert rat.
Try not to quarrel.
There have been problems, naturally.
Oh, they're waiting to speak to you, Professor.
Who?
Doc Snipes, Mr. Dobbs, the Undertaker.
Tell them to wait.
They won't like that.
You heard me.
You're the boss.
Mayor Oates, I'd like a few words with you, if you don't mind.
What's the matter with you? Can't you see I'm busy? Sit down, Professor. Let me fluff you a pillow. Comfy?
It'll do. I'm so sorry those disrespected you. I've been meaning to get rid of them.
Chickens in the jailhouse and dogs running around in the hospital, it does seem a bit odd.
Mayor Oates, this won't take long. It's important.
Still here? Show some consideration.
The blueprints Mr. Galt showed me are quite impressive, but I don't see any buildings. We mustn't forget that my dear uncle has been sending you money For several years now. Long enough for a small metropolis to blossom.
I was hoping to spare you this.
We both were.
I would have mentioned it to your uncle, but at his advanced age, I feared the worst.
Heart attack, stroke? Who knows? The shock would be considerable.
What is it?
We've lost much of the money sent on by your dear uncle.
Lost?
Not in the way you might think. Not through mismanagement and that sort of thing.
Then how did you lose it?
The Kansas City Kid.
Mayor Oates, about my license for the game of chance.
I'm working on it day and night. However, you're gonna have to pay an additional fee. Paperwork is expensive.
But I paid you so much already.
A mere detail. Women never understand these matters. We'll discuss it later, Mr. Lilac.
Do I get that license or don't I?
You'll get that license when you pay the additional fee. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have more serious matters to deal with.
The mayor has business with the professor.
In that case, I'll leave you to your business. I hope things are going well, Professor Burns.
You might say I'm making progress.
Good.
Who's this Kansas City Kid?
He's a notorious outlaw, a bandit, a highwayman.
He's known from Maine to California. It's only fair for us to warn ya. The meanest hombre I've ever seen, the Kansas City Kid. He's really rotten, he's no good. He ain't no Western Robin Hood. He'll steal from the rich, he'll steal from the poor, and then he'll come back and steal some more. He'll steal your bread before you bake it. If you got it, then he'll take it. The outlaw we all fear to see, the Kansas City Kid. He's got an evil reputation. Crime's his only occupation. The baddest dude I've ever seen, the Kansas City Kid. He's sneaky, nasty, and suspicious. A rascal who is quite malicious. Scoundrel we all hate to see, the Kansas City Kid. He's really rotten, he's no good. He ain't no Western Robin Hood. He'll steal from the rich, he'll steal from the poor, and then come back and steal some more. He'll steal your bread before you bake it. If you got it, then he'll take it. The outlaw we all fear to see, the Kansas City Kid.
Kansas City.
The Kansas City Kid.
Really rotten, he's no good.
He ain't no Western Robin Hood.
He'll steal from the rich, he'll steal from the poor,
And then come back and steal some more.
he'll steal your bread before you bake it. If you got it, then he'll take it. The outlaw we all fear to see, the Kansas City Kid. The outlaw we all fear to see, the Kansas City Kid.
Are you telling me that this Kansas City Kid has taken funds intended for tumbleweed?
I'm afraid so.
Why don't you arrest him?
He is not easy to catch. He's a whirlwind when he strikes.
We've been robbed several times. Usually he waits for the stagecoach, but not always.
The mayor, he put up a reward.
My own money.
What's he look like?
Nobody knows. He always wears a bandana to cover his face and a hat pulled low to his eyes.
We could have had tumbleweed completed long ago if it weren't for the Kansas City Kid.
You should have informed my uncle. He would have sent in federal marshals.
That's the last thing I want. It would undermine his faith in my capability.
No federal marshals in Tumbleweed. That's my motto.
But you can't allow this Kansas City kid to wander in and out, taking what doesn't belong to him.
We can deal with him, but we wanted to let you know why things have progressed so slowly.
This is serious. Oh, my hands are dirty. I'll wash them if you don't mind. I have a thing about dirty hands. I won't be long.
Don't be afraid to use as many hand towels as you'd like. They're borrowed.
This is about me and Miss Julie. And, you know...
How did the tour go? Is he suspicious?
Did he ask many questions?
How long was he staying?
Did you believe what you told
He
him?
didn't stay long.
Quiet! Can't hear myself think.
What was all that foolishness about someone called the Kansas City Kid?
Never heard of him.
Well, that's not surprising since he doesn't exist.
Wait, were you folks eavesdropping?
Of course!
Don't want him to overhear. Sheriff, stand guard.
Leave it to me.
It's a brilliant idea, if I do say so myself.
The idea's okay, but I'm not so sure he believed you.
Yeah, saying the Kansas City kid stole tumbleweed money doesn't prove it.
Gilroy's right.
I've already considered the possibility the professor might be suspicious about the Kansas City Kid. So the Kansas City Kid will make an appearance.
What?
Be quiet.
He will rob the strongbox, and Professor Burns will see him do it.
But there is no Kansas City Kid.
There will be. We'll draw straws. Whoever draws the long straw will impersonate the Kansas City Kid.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Not bad. It's a stroke of genius. Naturally, I won't draw, nor will the sheriff. It has to be someone the professor is not too familiar with. Draw. Who's got the long straw?
I do! Elmira Sessions is the Kansas City Kid?
No way.
That won't work.
I'm willing.
That's not the point. It has to look convincing.
Elmira won't look convincing.
She never does.
Okay, who's got the next longest straw?
Merciful stars, I do.
You are the Kansas City Kid, Gilroy.
Me, but I'm a mortician, an undertaker.
You're also the Kansas City Kid.
I won't know what to do or how to do it. No, impossible.
Well, you drew the straw.
You're it.
Go outside and get ready.
I won't do it, I tell you.
You'll do it.
Impossible, I tell you. I'll be too scared.
He's coming back.
I'm afraid of guns. I don't like loud noises. I don't know how to shoot one. I've never been to Kansas City. I won't know how to impersonate a desperado.
Julie, my mind is made up.
I don't want to marry Professor Burns.
Julie.
Listen to me. You're promising your woman beauty and grace. You really think I'd raise you to have much better taste? It's not about the living model and how to spend your life. Julie, I don't want you to end up a poor man's wife.
But what about marrying for love?
trap. Don't call him Professor. Call him Tom or Tommy.
Where's the mayor?
Ah, Tom! Julie and I were just discussing you. You have no clue how she admires you.
She does.
Well, she's always talking about you.
She is.
Men seldom notice these things. What a pity you've never married. Such a waste. I always say a man without a wife is a sad creature. No better than a lonely coyote howling at the moon. Fortunately, there are ways to rescue him.
The coyote?
The Bachelor.
How are you gonna rescue him?
Marriage, Tom. Marriage.
Who'd want to marry me?
Such a wit! Did you hear what Tommy said, Julie?
I heard.
You and Julie must get to know each other better. Do you mind if I go to the apartment for a minute? I need a few things.
Be my guest.
Julie, why are you sitting so far from Tom? He'll think you don't like him. He's such a shy little thing.
How's your stay doing here in Tumbleweed, Professor Burns? Tom?
I can honestly say that my stay is becoming quite profitable.
You may not realize it, but my mother's throwing me at you, and I don't like it. When I marry, I'll marry for love.
Marrying for love is a good idea.
If you'll excuse me.
Julie! Julie, come back!
No!
I hope it wasn't anything I said.
Oh, these modern girls, what do they know about anything? Oh, if I were only 20 or 10 years younger and unmarried, why, I'd search for a cultured, rich young man just like you.
I am cultured.
Oh, you're full of culture, I can tell.
Rich.
I'd never hold that against a man.
Young.
To be young again.
I've always admired women who sing.
Oh, Professor, please! You make me blush.
Oh, what a shame you're not a widow. Otherwise, you and I, who knows?
Oh, Professor, how could you? You're pulling my leg.
No, I'm not.
Professor, I'd like to work with you. In fact, we'd all like to work with you. In private.
I can take a hint. No one has to hit me with a hammer. Please ignore Julie's little outburst, Tom. She's always been emotional, but her feeling for you is genuine. I've never been to Boston.
Pillow's too soft. I like a stiff back chair. What others are you talking about, Mr. Dobbs?
Laura Maxwell, Doc Snipes, Elmira, and Mrs. Crabtree.
I'll see you one at a time. I don't like people bunching up.
Of course. Understandable. When you return to Boston and report back to your uncle, I wondered if you put in a good word for me. Mention my blueprints and how my work is progressing. How shall I put it? Beautifully.
That is something of an overstatement, isn't it? What's this?
What's what?
The money on the table?
Well, it's not mine, Professor. It must be yours. Why don't you put it in your pocket?
Why don't I? I'll see the lawyer, Maxwell, next.
My pleasure.
Short and to the point.
How wonderful, you're alone.
Looks that way. What can I do for you?
I wouldn't want Mayor Oates and his wife to know I spoke with you.
Be brief. Others are waiting.
Please tell your uncle to do something about the mayor's wife.
Miranda?
All the other merchants in Tumbleweed feel the same way. She takes things, so does the mayor.
They're thieves?
They don't steal merchandise exactly. They borrow things. Sometimes they forget to return them. Whenever the mayor's wife comes into my shop, I have to hide all the good stuff. Otherwise, she'll want to borrow it. There's no profit when people borrow instead of buy. If only your uncle back in Boston would do something about the situation.
I'll see what I can do.
I knew you'd be easy to talk with.
You must excuse me now. I'm a busy man. Busy.
You're a good man, I can tell.
Next!
I suppose you've discovered the fact that I was disbarred in Arkansas. Still, I'm an expert when it comes to shuffling papers and delaying things. It would be a shame if Tumbleweed lost my services. Not many lawyers like the desert life. If you neglect to mention my lack of credentials to your uncle, I'd be most grateful. How does 400 sound?
500 would sound a lot better.
500 it is. It'll leave me broke, but it's in a good cause.
I'll see the documents.
I'll tell him.
Professor, when your Haskell said you were in here, why just this moment we saw one.
I know you met my lovely daughters, Ottilie, Marigold, and Antoinette. Say hello to the professor, girls.
Hello, Professor.
This is lovely Ottilie. This is my lovely Marigold. And this is their sister.
Let me guess. Atsu! Lovely Antoinette.
I told you not to giggle. Oh, Ma, that hurt.
What's that smell?
It's perfume.
Ma said to go heavy on those carts.
Isn't it wonderful?
I'm allergic to perfume. Atsu!
It's hard to find both for my girls in Tumbleweed. Suitable bachelors are few and far between.
I thought you were alone, Professor.
I am. Atsu!
I can see that you're busy. I won't take any more of your time.
Time is money. Atsu!
I'd like to invite you for dinner this evening.
We're having rice pudding for dessert.
With raisins.
And first cream. You can have seconds if you want.
I'll let you know.
I'll take that as a definite yes. Say thank you, Professor Girls.
Thank you, Professor Girls.
I think you're
I wish I do more just like them. Atsu!
I'd be careful of them females, Professor. Carrion fever's in the air. You know, I'm a direct man, so I'll come directly to the point. I may have a diploma as a horse doctor, but all a doctor in this town needs to do is pull teeth and spoon castor oil. I'd like to keep my job. You know what I mean?
I think I do.
How's 500 sound?
600 would sound a lot better.
600? Well, that's all I have, but they know more.
You do realize I consider this merely a, how shall I put it? A loan. Yes, that's what this is, a loan.
I think we understand one another. You're a pleasure to do business with.
I'm ready for the post, mistress.
I've been waiting for a moment like this, Professor.
How so?
A chance to speak with you without the whole town listening.
So has everyone else.
I know the post office ain't run as sleek as it might be, but I've had problems. So have I. That's why the schools never had a graduate. I'd appreciate it if your uncle never heard about that. And please, please don't tell him I read other people's mail.
I hope you ladies won't find me too bold, but I wonder if you could extend me a small loan. As you know, I was stranded in Tumbleweed without funds.
Poor man. Here, this might help. It's all I have.
No small change. Folding money only.
Whatever you say. You're the professor. Come on into the dining room, Professor. We'll have a glass of sarsaparilla.
That sounds nice. I'll be along in a moment, as long as you're buying.
Looks good.
Looks great. Ah, Lily, you have no idea. They can't wait to bribe me. They think everyone's as crooked as they are. They're tripping over each other to give me money. Their last pennies, see?
I'm impressed.
Another day or two of this and we'll be rich as King Midas. That's good because I don't have a big brother in San Francisco. I don't have a big brother anywhere.
Staying could be dangerous. We mustn't push our luck. We'll be on the stage when it pulls out.
I suppose you're right. The mayor's got a lot of money in a desk drawer. I'll take that too.
I'll pack. Can you believe it? Mayor Oates tried to hold me up again. Greedy man.
They're all greedy. What will they say when they see me on the stage? I know. I'll tell them I'm off to visit another town. That way they won't be suspicious.
Good thinking. Time's getting short.
Like a dust storm on the horizon.
Mayor Oates, I've been meaning to tell you. I'll be leaving Tumbleweed soon.
Leaving? Oh, that is hard news. Everybody in here, please.
What's going on?
Hush up, hush up. I just wanted to let you know that the professor is leaving us. Soon.
Aww.
I'm afraid the mayor misunderstood. I'm not leaving for good. I have to go investigate another town on my uncle's behalf. I won't be long. I'll be back in Tumbleweed in about a week.
Oh, that is good news. Julie will be so pleased.
Reach for the sky! Here's the strongest from Boston. I know I came on the stage today. Don't try to deny it.
There, behind the registration desk. It's in the safe.
Obadiah, do something!
You do something, Miranda. Give him the strong box.
Somebody get the sheriff! Oh, where's the sheriff?
Give him the strong box! I'm running out of patience. The strong box now, or I start spinning hot, lad. It's up to you, old lady.
Old lady? yes. Anything, just don't shoot.
Kansas City Kid hasn't got all day. Everybody back. Heads up. Count to 10 before you move. I said count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are you all right, Professor?
I never expected anything like this.
Oh, that Kansas City kid is wicked. One day he'll go too far.
Let's form a posse and get him!
Now you see what I've had to contend with, Professor.
We'll bring him to justice!
We'll take some time, that's all.
Stagecoach leaving in 10 minutes. Next stop, Dead Man's Gulch.
I'd love to stay and discuss this bandit, but I'm afraid there's no time.
I've got to make up for a lost day's time.
I believe Lily Delilac is leaving.
First I've heard of it. Good riddance, I say. Gambling always brings bad luck.
Someone tell Mrs. Maywater time's a-wasting.
I'll do it.
10 minutes.
I'll have to hurry. See you in a week.
He's gone.
Worked like a charm.
Couldn't have gone better. I didn't know Gilroy had it in him.
Gilroy? What are you all saying? What's the matter with you? We've just been
I'll
robbed.
explain it to you later. There's nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. You lost your senses.
If I didn't know it was Gilroy under that bandana and hat, I never would have guessed.
Did you see the professor dive for cover?
Like a kangaroo red hitting a burrow. Hands up! Dude, don't anybody move! This is a stick-up. I'm a Kansas City Kid and I mean business. Where's the money from Boston? Give it up! What is this?
I knew it would work. Oh, I don't feel well.
Harry, you've ruined everything.
2 Kansas City kids? How is that possible?
Gilroy needed help, and I supplied it. What do you mean 2 Kansas City kids?
He was in here a few moments ago and took the strong box.
Who?
The first Kansas City kid.
That's not possible.
Why isn't it?
Because the Kansas City Kid doesn't exist.
Well, in that case, who took the strong box?
I thought I recognized the kid.
Which one?
The first one. The one who took the strong box. I thought he handled himself too good to Gilroy.
I was at that.
If you know who the bandit is, tell us.
Who was
See for yourself.
Luther!
That's right, Luther. Luther the prospector, Luther the desert man.
And now I discover you're Luther the Bandit. I'm not surprised. Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
I overheard you and the sheriff plotting their oaths. I heard your scheme to invent a bandit called the Kansas City Kid, so I thought I'd beat you to the bunch. I can assure you, the strongbox from Boston is in safe hands. Mine.
What gives you the right to take money that isn't yours?
Perhaps it would help matters if I introduced myself properly.
Why bother? We all know who you are.
You only think you do. I am Luther John Prescott III. John Prescott is my grandfather.
Grandfather! Luther, can this be true?
I never told a single lie in my life, Miss Julie, and I don't intend to start now. I am the agent sent Incognito to investigate tumbleweed.
There's that word again.
I feel like Sleeping Beauty, waking up from a dream.
You mean John Prescott sent his grandson and his nephew?
You can't be John Prescott's grandson! The idea is absurd!
Luther's been out in the sun for too long.
But posing as a prospector was the best way to see how things really are.
But Miranda's right. It's absurd. You're not related to John Prescott.
I am. Liar.
Shrink! Scoundrel!
Loser!
Excuse me. What is wrong with you people?
Luther Prescott. Imagine seeing you here in Tumbleweed. How delightful. How special.
You know this hombre?
Of course. He's Luther John Prescott III of the Boston Prescotts. I thought I recognized you before, but I couldn't quite place you in that ridiculous prospector getup. What on earth are you doing here, Luther?
I'm on a mission for a grandfather.
How is dear John?
Old.
All aboard! What a pity. I have to go visiting my daughter at Fort Drywell. When you see your grandpapa, give him my best.
I'll be happy to.
Until we meet again, Luther. Au revoir.
Au revoir, Miss Baywater.
Au revoir. Au revoir. Au
Adios!
I've always said that Luther had potential. Didn't I always say that, Julie?
Luther, the professor, relatives? I never would have thought.
Oh, the professor is no relationship of mine.
Huh?
But he's working for your grandfather.
Incognito!
I can assure you he's not working for my grandfather.
But I gave him all the money I had.
At first we thought he was a Pinkerton man.
Then he said he was John Prescott's nephew.
He lied.
I gave him several $100s.
So did I.
You've been swindled by a proprietor of a medicine show. He was strictly snake oil.
Who said he was a Pinkerton agent? You did. This is all your fault.
It wasn't me.
There is
It's
no way
him.
to-
It was her.
She done it.
Stop. Okay, that's better. Now, listen carefully, everybody. There will be some changes made. you'll have to work hard to pay up for the money you've taken unfairly. You and your wife can still run the hotel, but for a tiny salary. There will be no more borrowing from the town merchants. You can work as a law clerk when the real attorney shows up. You can work as a handyman in hospital when the real doctor is hired. And you should stop reading other people's mail. Miss Crabtree, you can still conduct classes when the real teacher is hired. And you can start making amends by digging irrigation ditches.
What if we refuse?
I refuse to be anyone's assistant. And I refuse to dig a ditch!
If you refuse, I'll kindly advise my grandfather to send in a federal marshal who will sort things out.
Luther, you're gonna make this town come alive.
You can count it, Miss Julie. We'll change the name of this town to Prescott in honor of my grandfather. When people years from now ask how the territorial capital got its name, don't hesitate to relate the story of redemption and progress.
Redemption and progress. Oh, Luther.
Julie.
It's just like a love letter.
Progress and redemption are the words they'll use as Prescott's motto and creed. Everybody's gonna make a brand new start in what was once called tumbleweed. There's no more trouble, no more trouble, no more troubles down in tumbleweed. There's no more trouble, no more trouble. No more trouble down in tumbleweed. No more trouble, no more trouble, no more trouble, no more trouble down in tumbleweed. There's no more trouble, no more trouble, no more trouble, no more trouble down in tumbleweed. No more trouble down in tumbleweed. No more trouble down in
Crabtree still conducts classes. Reading, writing, and arithmetic?
Yes, but there's storm clouds in the sky, and it looks like it's going to rain. Who wants to sit in this stupid school looking all wet? Anyways, there's supposed to be mommy and dad here.
We're gonna have lunch in the hotel dining room.
I'm gonna have 2 pieces of peach pie because next month is my birthday.
And I'm gonna have a chocolate sundae because next month is her birthday.
Why don't you go in and pick out a nice table?
Yes, let's go. I'm starving. You just want to get rid of us. Why would they want to get rid of us?
You wanted